Hello, right, another Maker Advent, and we've got something 3D printer related today. Yes, I know, yesterday was 3D printing as well. I've gotten into 3D printing quite a lot over the last year properly. Now I've got the Centauri Carbon, and I'm not one that prints off little statues and all that. Yes, I have got little statues here and there. Lovely little astronaut. There you go. That was actually printed on the Neptune 3 Pro about 2 years ago. Anyway, I like printing functional stuff that you can use and mess around with. So I've got a 3D printed server over there. Yeah, it's got a real PC inside it. It's all made out of PETG filament. Cool. But when I was experimenting with PETG, I wanted to create something functional that I could use to help my life. And as I'm a maker, although pretty much a lapsed maker these days, I've not done a lot of making over the last year. That upsets me, actually. Anyway, that's a video blog for another day. I wanted to make something that's going to give me a kit that I've always got with me when I'm out and about. So if some maker emergency happens, something could happen, I can help out, or I can fix something, or I can do something. So I went to Amazon and I got a load of tins. The old ones that I use for tobacco or bits and bobs. And I put in all the tools that I think are what I'm going to need when I'm out and about. I'm going to show you what I've got and explain how it all works. So we've got a nice clear lid on the top of the tin so I can see inside it. Take that off. You'll notice this tin has an inlay. That's the 3D printed bit. In there is some PETG. Let's get it central. There we go. There's some PETG printed into the shape of an organiser with compartments. And in there I've got various tools, some of which have been on Maker Advent before, some haven't. I'm going to just get them out and show you. So I've got a little hand drill thing that went in the other day. That was on Maker Advent a year or two ago. Wearer tiny ratchet screwdriver. How tiny is it? Hang on a sec. Banana for scale. He's back. Oh yeah, he's back. He's about 2/3 of banana for scale in size. Let's get it all in shot. And it takes standard quarter-inch bits. So if I grab one of those now, pop it in. There we go, and I can change the direction. Best 15 quid I've ever spent that. Done some 3D printing in TPU, so I've got my 1/4" and 4mm bits. Go on camera, catch up. There we go. I've got my Leatherman ES4 electrician's multi-tool, and it's just all the tools that electricians or electronics people like to have handy. So wire strippers, nippers, screwdrivers, the general bits and pieces. Plethora, a myriad, a cornucopia of USB things. How do you hold these cameras without them falling everywhere? I don't know. USB A to C adapter, a 32 gig. Is it 32 gig? Might be more actually. Hang on, it'll tell me on the thing here. 64 gig. There we go. USB 3 drive. And on there is Ventoy with a load of different Linux distros. Spare USB stick just in case. Adapter for USB A to C. And that goes inside the USB A. Some Nipex Cobra, like adjustable pliers, which have got a bit of hot glue on them at the moment. I was fixing a hot glue gun the other week. These have been awesome. Not cheap, they're about 25 quid for these, but brilliant. Get it in shot, Les. Self-adjusting, just put it on, and it does the job. I will get stuff on camera one day. I've not done camera stuff like this since March, so I'm really out of practice. We've got a little Leatherman Bruiser, I think it's called. It's like a pry tool. Don't use it to pry open a laptop or a phone. It's made out of steel. It'll destroy it. And the final thing is another TMU purchase from last year is a bolt action pen. And all of that is in this organiser here. And if I just take out this insert here, the organiser insert, I've got resistor colour code, which I got from Andrew Lewis at Liverpool Makefest earlier on this year, because I can never remember the colour code to resistors. Yes, there are ways to remember it. I keep forgetting it. That is my way to remember it. This is the 3D printed bit. This is in PETG or PETG, however you want to say it. And it was really easy to make. Do you know why? Because I didn't design it. I just put all the details into some software on the website and it did it for me. So let's take a look. This is bento3d.design. And it's a representation of a 3D object that you want to create. So I can set the depth of things using a slider here. So the depth is that bit there. So 210 in this case. Let's do the width. And if we do that as, let's do a piece of A4 paper. 291 by 297, isn't it, I think? And a depth of 20 mil. That's fine. So I've created an object. There it is. But there's no grid yet. So I click on grid. And just like working in a spreadsheet, I can add columns and rows. And I can split these rows up a little bit. There you go, change their formats. I can change the columns a little bit. I can then change the settings over here, so the thickness of the walls, if I need really thick walls, or just normal walls. This is all in millimeters. Do I want them stackable? Yes or no? I tend not to. So let's have no stack, and then the fillet, and that's the roundness of the corners. It's on 2 at the moment. If I want it really round, I can set it to 5. If I want no roundness, or very little, set it to 1. I tend to stick about 2. And if I click on download now, it generates an STL file. So there it is. There's my organizer. That's a real STL file. So if I download this STL, okay, I've got that. Let's put it in a slicer and see what happens. Okay, I'm in Elegoo Slicer, which is what I use for slicing on the Centauri Carbon. And I'm just going to import the STL. Yes, it's too big for the print area. I'm well aware of that. What I'm going to do, just for making it a bit easy on myself, is I'm just going to scale it down so it fits. Ordinarily, I wouldn't do this because I want it to have the exact dimensions that I set up in Bento 3D. But there it is. So I could click on slice, and this is in rapid PETG, and that's going to take an hour and a half to print, and it's got a brim, which I don't want a brim. Let's get rid of that brim. It doesn't need a brim. It's a big sheet on the print area. It's just going to stick. 1 hour 24. There we are. And I've got my own custom organizer trays. That is really cool. So I've gone through this at warp speed. I've got a full tutorial on Tom's Hardware, not a plug or anything, just something that's easy for me to point to and say, hey, look, here's how you're doing it. It's a slow way of showing how every single feature works, rather than having a 20-minute video, instructional video. Have a look, have a go. If you've got a 3D printer, play around with it. Have a go with this. It's really cool. What it produces is really good work, and I'm really impressed with it. Bento 3D. Have a play, have a go. It's great fun. Alright, that's all for now. See you later.